Welcome to Storm Tracker, your eye on the storm of your Carolina Hurricanes, and your home for the best insight and analysis to keep you totally informed on what's happening with the Canes. Whether it's the latest news on the ice or off the ice, we've got you covered. Now let's begin. Here's your host, Tom Ray.
Well, Chicago Wolves are busy preparing for their upcoming series with the Texas Stars, which kicks off Tuesday night at HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas. The Wolves finished the season on a roll and will head into the postseason firing on all cylinders. Joining me to talk about the Wolves' upcoming series and more, I'm delighted to welcome in our Storm Tracker Chicago Wolves insider, Andrew Rinaldi, and a very special guest, Chicago Wolves star centerman, Skyler Brind'Amour. Gentlemen.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
It's really great to have you on the show, Skyler, and I know it's kind of an exciting time for you, for sure. And, you know, we spent a lot of time on our podcast this year telling people about the good things you've been doing. It's been fun. Andrew and I have talked about you on the Chicago Wolves Report quite a bit. And on the Canes podcast side, Aaron, Katie, and I have been talking about you a lot. And recently, of course, really enjoyed the time you spent with the Canes. And, of course, we had Spiros on recently, and he was very complimentary of what you've been doing. So great stuff, great stuff. Anyway, what a time to be a hockey fan for the Canes and Canes farm system. Wow, this is great, right? We got playoffs going, and, you know, you're getting ready to go. And, boy, what about last night?
That was a crazy game. That was, like you said, this is the best time of the year for sure. Playoff hockey, nothing like it. And, that second period of last night game, I was watching it here with Alexis Legault, actually, my roommate here. So we were yelling at the TV a little bit and getting fired up. And, I think we both just wanted to strap our skates on and get our series started and get going.
No, I can imagine. And if you're like us, we're on the edge of our seat the whole time, right? So
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's nerve-wracking. But it must be great for you. I mean, with your dad and such an outstanding performance by the Canes. Did you get a chance to talk to him after that? Have you said, hey, great Dad?
I talked to him actually, after game 3. So we talked a little bit and just catch up, and he was obviously, happy with what they've done so far in the first 3. And then, he's always, pretty dialed in at this time of year. And so we don't necessarily talk as much as we normally do throughout the year. But,
Sure.
He was fired up. And, what a great series. I mean, that was, 4 games. They're all just super tight. And, that's playoff hockey. And so, credit to the guys up there. They certainly brought it, and hopefully they get a few days to get some rest, and maybe some guys get back healthy, and then you got to do it again.
Well, you and your roommate Charles Alexis Legault, of course, were up there recently, so you'll have you're up close and personal with those guys, so it just makes it a little bit better, right? Yeah,
it's cool. I mean, obviously you get to know them a little bit, and obviously, I've always been a fan of the Canes, but when you get to know them on a personal level a little bit more, it's even more so. You're rooting for them, and they're such an easy group to cheer for because they're all great people up there, and I'm excited for them. I think they have a real chance to go on a long run, and I know Raleigh will be buzzing for the whole playoff run.
Well, yeah, no kidding. So I thought we'd spend a minute and talk a little bit about your time at Quinnipiac, 2019 to 23. And you kind of honed your craft, and then in 23 had a pretty darn good year. You were Gladiator ECAC Best Defensive Forward. You were named to the ECAC Third Team All Conference and earned all academic recognition. That's great.
Hey, there we go. Mom's happy about that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet your mom and dad were excited about that academic side. Yeah, you got to get that done. But that's great. And you played in all 41 games. You had an excellent season, 32 points. And one of the things I noticed was you led the nation with 500 faceoff wins. So you were doing it back then.
Yep. That's the Quinnipiac way. That's something that I've always grown up been a centerman, so I've always taken draws and understood how important all the games is. I mean, actually now with playoffs, everything is even smaller, the margins. But throughout the season, just winning faceoffs is something that can really affect the game. And you don't really think about it, to be honest with you, as a fan watching. Like you don't think too much of it, but it eliminates a lot of things or creates some things in the offense zone. So at Quinnipiac, we harped on that all the time, and it was every day after practice. Like if you're a center, you have to take draws, and it's it was something that I think was really just beneficial, because not only was for me obviously, but we had a lot of guys on our team that year that were really good. So you're practicing against guys that are really good, and I don't know what all our numbers were on the team. I don't remember that, but I'm pretty sure all of us were pretty above 50%, because that's one thing about Rand. If you're not above 50%, you're not playing center there. So
well, and you carried that up into into your time with the Canes as well. I was very impressed with how you handled yourself in the dot, and in this series that the Canes just had. I mean, that was a big discussion point, right? Because the Sens, one of the top face-off teams in the league, and they just humbled the Canes the first couple of games, right? They just, oh my God, they're just devastating in the face-off dot. And I guess Rod got back, your dad got back there and said, hey, guys, we got to get this right. And get the pucks out and start dropping them, right?
Yep, that's right. I'm sure he was, knowing him, he was, probably not too happy with the face-off numbers. And again, that's credit to the guys up there. They dug in and were able to kind of even that out in the last couple games. And, I think that made a little bit of a difference for sure.
Well, it's huge. And that was really impressive, So that's great. And then, of course, the major culminating thing that happened, of course, with you at Quinnipiac was winning the NCAA National Championship in 23. That must have been just amazing for you.
Yeah, that was one of the obviously best nights of my life for sure. And what made that so special to me was, obviously I was there for 4 years, and then during my time there, they kind of implemented that COVID year. So we actually had a lot of fifth-year guys. So I was with them my full 4 years, and then my class as well, the seniors. And so, you grow to obviously become, your teammates at first, but then you become really close with all those guys, and you're with them every day for, 4 years. And so, and then, a lot of those guys came back for that fifth year because, it was like we thought we had a chance to win it if those guys came back. So, that was really cool, and something that obviously I'll never forget. And just the whole, not even just that night, but just the whole season in general was one of the most fun I've ever had playing. I mean, we were rolling, but we knew what our mission was, and it was just a great group of guys, and something that obviously when I get to go back there too, and do the alumni skates now. It's pretty cool to see all those guys, and you obviously have something now that you always have for the rest of your life with that group in there, and it's really cool.
Yeah, and a number of the guys, of course, have gone on to continue fine careers. Colin Graff doing well in San Jose. Jake Quillen, a good opportunity with Toronto this year at the end of the season. He's done well. Zach Metza in Buffalo. Yep. Sam Lipkin and other guys. I mean, they've all kind of gone on, and it's exciting, right? I mean, it's got to be great for you because, and of course you're doing it as well, and Charles Alexis doing it as well.
Yeah.
So a bunch of you guys, right? So it's really great, and it's funny because when I watched that whole series and all that action quite closely. And you remember that Jake and Colin, of course, were free agents, and there was a lot of discussion about that, right? And I actually did a podcast on that and said, Canes, you got to sign these guys.
Yeah, I try to get those guys to sign here, but they went back for another year, and then I got out of their year a little bit, and so then they went elsewhere. But obviously it worked out for them pretty good. So they made the right decision.
Yeah, they've done great, and you know what? It's just a testament to the program and Rand and everything he did with you guys. So that's great, and that was I really thought that was exciting. Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so you kind of ride that high of the national championship, the pedigree and everything, and you graduate, you turn pro, and you start off with Charlotte Checkers, and so it's that year Carolina didn't really have an AHL affiliate, but it gives you an opportunity to stay close to home and all that. I believe you played with a local buddy of mine, Jerry Mayhew, on that team. Guy's a beauty, isn't he?
Yeah, he actually just texted me today. It was
really
funny. That's why you brought it up. Yeah. He was asking me wish me luck in playoffs, and then but yeah, he's an awesome dude. He's great.
Oh, that's incredible. I got him up after that. But anyway, so did you find like your game kind of shifting as you made your debut in the pros, or were you just kind of sticking with what worked for you in Quinnipiac and just kind of getting your first experience there in the American League?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that first year was a tough year for me. There's no doubt about it. I think you go from college to pro, it's definitely a jump. So I think a lot of younger players, especially, that first year is always hard. But for me, I was a little bit older, playing 4 years of college and getting there. So I was, obviously I knew it was going to be a jump, but I think getting there and kind of realizing, this is definitely a level up here, was tough to adjust to at first, and then. Then I had some injuries that, are never want to blame, excuse for missing time, but sometimes you get out of rhythm. And then with the way the league is, there's always guys coming up and taking spots and doing that. And so as soon as you get out of the lineup, then you got to work your way back in, and then things like that. And so, it was a tough year. There's no doubt about it, but I also learned a lot. Like for me, it was, okay, I got to figure out how I'm going to make an impact here. I was, right. When I got there, I was, I think my game in college kind of built up, and I went from being kind of just a shutdown guy to my last year was more of both kind of offense and defense. And then I got to, I was playing 20 something minutes a night every night in Quinnipiac. And then you go to Charlotte and you're playing, 8 to 10 minutes. And it's kind of like, a little bit of adjustment as far as how do you make an impact in those minutes. And that's something I had to learn. And, for me, I give a lot of credit to that staff down there. Jordy Kinnear was really good. He was hard, but he was fair. And, he was kind of helped me out the whole year about, look, I know you're not getting, a ton of ice time, but here's what you have to do if you want to, improve on that. And so we had a lot of video and things like that. And so one of the things, we kind of already talked about it was winning faceoffs, because he would, if we had a D-zone draw, he'd throw me out there to win a draw and stuff like that. So that's how you get a little more ice. And so little things like that. And then, I've never been someone that looks at points and it's like, I got to get this amount of points or anything like that. But, in order to kind of contribute offensively, you got to be out there. So how do you get yourself out there is kind of what I learned. And, it was definitely a tough year mentally more than anything. I'm just trying to find that balance, but it's definitely helped me grow, because it wasn't easy, but it was a learning experience for sure.
Interesting. We're looking at some of the things going on with the Wolves this year. One of the areas that we've talked about and had some fun with has been your activity alongside Josiah Slavin. You've been together with him quite a bit this year. You guys take the tough defensive matchups, you go out, you kill penalties, you do all the heavy lifting out there defensively and so on. And we said, hey, they're like Jordan Staal and Jordan Martinu. Do you feel that's a pretty good comparison for you guys?
Yeah, maybe not quite that level. Those guys are world class, but we try to be, I think. But yeah, he's obviously unbelievable to play with, because you know what you're getting from him every night. I mean, there's no shortcuts in his game. He plays the right way. He's relentless on the forecheck, the back check. And one other thing that's kind of underrated with him is like his stick is so active in the D zone. So he actually breaks up a lot. Like I always kind of joke with him, like, thank gosh I have you out here, because I get beat and he's right there, and I'm like, don't look so bad. So I always appreciate him. He always is a great player. And then also just kind of a minor thing, but he's such a good person that sometimes in a game it gets really heated, and I tend to be on the kind of side where I get super frustrated when things aren't going, my way or whatnot, or the team's way. And he kind of always is there and he's like, hey, we're good. Like, let's get back at it. Like, just keep it simple. Let's get back to work. So he's a nice calming influence on me out there. And we also joke. You think we both went up to Carolina together. We were always saying, they can't put us on the ice without the other one being out there. So, but yeah, he's been great. And obviously it's nice when you play with someone for that long, because then, the chemistry's there, and just, where he's going to be, and vice versa. So, we love the assignment of trying to shut down guys. That's a role, and we try to do the best we can to that.
Yeah, and I did talk to Spiros about that, and he was, again, very complimentary. He thought you guys as a pair were just tremendous in doing that good work, and he kind of laughed and thought, they're a lot like Martin Ukinstall.
Yep.
So it's kind of fun.
We'll take that comparison. We got a ways to go, but we'll take that comparison.
Yeah, I thought that was a lot of fun. That's great. So, yeah.
I got to jump in here real quick, because it's funny. You said you don't usually like looking at the numbers and the offensive output and everything. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about here, because, well, when you look at what you obviously your season in Charlotte and your last year in Quinnipiac, back-to-back 16-goal seasons in Chicago is kind of something that really stands out to me, and it really hasn't kind of mirrored that earlier in your career or anything like that. Is it just been like a focus of the coaching staff to get you more involved, or is it something as simple as just more opportunities and just the numbers have looked better for you?
Yeah, I think it all starts with more opportunities, to be honest with you. That's when I first got here last year, there wasn't anything given. It was, hey, and I felt like I played pretty well to start, and then you do that, it turns in you get some power play looks, and you get a few to kind of bounce off you or something, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you might actually be able to score, and then and then you get you get a little bit more and more, and I think that's the biggest thing, is really just getting that opportunity, and then you got to make the most of it. I obviously in the summer I take, I work pretty hard on trying to finish around the net and work on those little details, and so at the end of the day, you can get the opportunity, but if you're not able to put it in or things like that, then it doesn't really matter, to be honest. So, I think it mostly do with just getting an opportunity, and then obviously our coaching staff down here does a great job with giving you little things to help you in that, and then it's up to you to try to go and and put them in and make a difference.
Well, you talk about getting goals, and of course, last year in your call-up, you scored, which was great. And so that must have been a big thrill for you. But, this year, we're really excited to see you get called up again. And I don't know, I just felt like you're much more comfortable out there. Was it different for you this year?
Yeah, I think definitely a lot more comfortable. Obviously, the first time you get called up, it's just it's a whirlwind. It's a lot of emotions and a lot of nerves and all things like that. So I felt like this time going up was a little calmer, a little kind of understood what the game was going to be. Before you really have no idea. So I wouldn't say, right. You feel like you're prepared, but at the same time, you're like, I don't know, like you just don't know. So, this time you felt a little bit calmer. And, the thing is with going up late in the season like that, where they're resting so many guys too, it's right. Like you're going to get ice time, like, because you're trying to save the other guys. So, you're kind of thrown into the fire, which is great. Like it's, you understand that like how hard of a league it is, but you're not kind of tipping your toes in it. Like you're full in it, and it's really cool. And it was, obviously a lot of fun. And it was awesome that, we had a bunch of guys get called up, because that also makes it a little bit easier with, when you have a bunch of guys up there, not only just on the ice, but, we had a day off in Utah or whatnot. And so you were able to, hang out with those guys and kind of get away from the rink and things like that, which made it, even more special.
No, that's amazing. And we were, as I say, we were very excited to see you guys get called up. And we had been talking a lot. I particularly was pressing hard for the Canes to continue to win as the season kind of wound down. I mean, I was, they got to get first place in the East, and they got, they got to try to pass Dallas, and I kept saying, it's important to have that home ice advantage, because of the matchups and, all the stuff that goes with that. And we saw some of that, of course, in this past series. And I really felt like that. And then, they said, okay, like last year, we're going to rest a few players, and then they rest a bunch. And they start calling up, a bunch of folks from Chicago, and we're going, well, I don't know how this is going to work. And all you guys did was, win most of the games.
Yeah, you know what? That was another thing where you feel like it's honestly, I don't know about, obviously the manager and all that stuff, but I'm sure they weren't like, oh, we have to win these games. But as the guys that when we went up, it was like we wanted to make sure that we won. Like it was important to us because, we were. Not, I mean, again, and they still had guys in the lineup, and those guys carried, and they were, obviously the really good and for the Canes. But we obviously didn't, we didn't want to mess it up. We wanted to try to get some wins and keep the thing rolling for them going into playoffs. And so, I felt like, I don't know, I forget how many guys ended up getting caught up at the end there, but I think we all really try to take that to heart and just, do our job, and then make sure we get the 2 points as best we could.
Yeah, I think it was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
We saw Felix Ungerstorm come up, and Ronan Seeley. I think a lot of us were really excited to see Ronan get up there, and it was just great. It was fun, and you guys did an awesome job. One of the things that as I look at the Wolves season this year, you've got some young guys that are they're coming along and they're trying to figure out the how this works, and they're looking for leadership and mentorship and so on. And I guess, you're in that role now. So, so it must be rewarding for you. I mean, you see these players, they're starting to grow their game. They're growing personally. How do you find that?
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome to be a part of. Obviously it's funny, whatever, last year, second year pro, and then you kind of hear it and you're one of the older guys already, and you're kind of like, whoa, but that's the way we are. We got a lot of young guys, and it's awesome. I mean, those, first off, they're just talented hockey players, all of them. They all are just, they can do crazy things with the puck. I mean, it's impressive to see every day, but it's also, what I love about it is everyone's so hungry to get better. And so it's every day of practice, it's a compete level, because everyone's pushing the envelope to take the next step in their game. And so you either have to push yourself to make sure that you're continuing to go, or you're going to get left behind. So that's what makes it fun for me when you have, a lot of young guys, because everyone's super fired up and hungry to get better. And then, even you see from guys from year 1 to year 2 that have been here, they've all gotten way better, and they've gotten way more comfortable. And obviously we have a great leadership with Josiah and Seeley and Robes, and those guys do a great job, being the main leaders. But we also, a successful team, you have more than just the letters that are leading. You got to have a lot of guys that are doing the right things. And so, I'm not the most vocal guy, but I feel like I try to do the right things on and off the ice every day. And, if maybe a young guy sees that and hopefully, they say, okay, this is how you do it, then great. And so, but yeah, we have a lot of guys like that, and that's what, makes our team so special, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, you're leading by example, as you say, and when Spiros was on, he was talking a lot about different players, and it's just incredible to see the group that's been put together. Those of us who get a chance to cover the Wolves, really, we always have lots to talk about.
Yep, exactly right.
There's a lot of good stuff going on, and talking about Spiros, we really, we enjoy Spiros a lot, and we were so excited when the announcement came out recently that he's now the formal head coach. He's not interim anymore, and we were thrilled. And so, what's it like playing for him, though? I mean, he's a great guy to have on here, but
no, he's awesome. Like, obviously, you guys know you've had him on, and you know him, and that's who he is. And so he doesn't try to change himself, which I think sometimes if coach goes from assistant to head coach in the middle of the year, you might
Yeah.
sense like it might change. That's just natural, but a lot of times you can kind of sniff that out as being fake, as he's trying to do something that he's not. And so I get a lot of credit to him because it's hard to go from assistant to the head coach, especially during the year. And so he hasn't changed, and that's what to me is why he's been successful as our coach, because he's obviously he's hard on you, and he expects a lot, but you want to do that for him because, one, he's just such a good person, that you want him to be successful because of the way he is. And so he's been great. Like a lot of things too that from last year to this year that we kind of felt like all the players, we talked about, like, we maybe want to see a little bit of an improvement here, just from like a practice or video or something like that. Obviously at the end of the year, people ask input on the players, and he's really took that to heart and understood where we're coming from, and then has implemented that to our team. So he's been awesome, and again, everyone loves to play for him and wants to play for him, wants to win for him. So to me, that's the sign of a successful coach, is if you got full buy-in from your team, and he certainly has that.
Yeah, for sure. And he's so complimentary of others. I mean, all he wanted to do was talk about the players and his other coaches, and just kind of, hey, I'm going to share this because it's really the other people that are making it happen. So great guy. And as I say, we're delighted that he was able to do that.
Yeah, I think it's a big vote of confidence in the organization heading into the postseason to be like, okay, we're making this official. I think it's wonderful. I'm super happy for him. I know the whole locker room is, and I think it's going to give him a bit of an energy boost coming into the series. Which, let's just put the elephant in the room right now. We got to point this out. You're going up against the Texas Stars here, and we're going to call it the first round. The AHL playoffs are weird, but it's the first opponent, and this is a team that's taken 7 out of 8 games from you guys this season. It's been kind of a thorn in your side all year. And it's, they've been a well-coached team. It's just the constant year after year with this squad, no matter who's wearing that jersey. But I kind of want to know the mentality of the locker room in there once you guys kind of figured out that this is who you're going to be playing. Is it are you guys relishing the chance to kind of get some payback against them, or is it just kind of business as usual? We don't really care who's in front of us. We're going to go out and play our game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of both. I think at the end of the day, it's who we play, and then it doesn't really matter. We got to go and play our game and beat them. But at the same time, we're excited that it's Texas. We obviously owe them a few. I mean, there's no secret. They've had our number this year. But that's the regular season. Playoffs is a whole different animal, and we're excited to get down there. Tomorrow we fly in. So they have a good team. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They play hard. They got a good goalie who's played really well against us. But we're confident in our group, and we feel really good about it. We just got to play our game. We're deep. We got 4 lines. We got 6 defensemen. We got 2 goalies that have been great all year. So we're excited. I think like I said, playoffs are a little bit different animal than the regular season. So we're ready to go. That's for sure.
Do you guys think it's do you like the chance to start the series on the road, or do you think you would have preferred maybe having the home fans in front of you first?
To be honest with you, it doesn't really bother me either way. I don't mind going there first, to be honest. Obviously the weather will be nice there, so that'll be a good little step off the plane, and we'll get a little sunshine, which will be good. But it's every game. We're trying to win every game, and it's when we go there, if we can, it's just about one game at a time, and play the first one, win that one, and then reset and do it again, and then we can come home and close out the series. So we're excited about it, and to be honest with you, I haven't really thought about if I'd rather play there or here first. It's wherever we go, that's the way it is, and let's go make the most of it.
Not even a factor. No, that's great. So we saw up with the Canes just how important special teams are in terms of just how momentum swings and everything. I mean, look how strong that penalty kill was against Ottawa with the 95 penalties that the Senators kept getting every period. But beyond that, just kind of as we turn back here to you guys in the Texas, looking at how, again, with that momentum of special teams going back and forth, how do you think that your units kind of stack up with the Stars on the power play and the penalty kill?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, it's a huge in every series. You tend to, whoever has the better special teams ends up winning series most of the time. So we know that. We've worked a lot on it this week on both the PK and the power plays. But yeah, I mean, we feel good. We have a plan of what we want to execute. Obviously, you talk more about power play, but like you got to make plays when you're out there. You got to get pucks to the net and get in front of the eyes and kind of bang away. Obviously, we have a plan of things we want to attack, but Dan Price runs the power plays, and he does a great job of giving us kind of a skeleton of what he sees and video and things like that. But at the end of the day, like we got to take some ownership of it as players that are on it and take what's given. And then really, especially, our unit, the second unit, it's a little more of let's get the puck to the net and let's, cause a little bit of chaos there. And so if we do that, I think we'll have a good chance of being successful. And then on the PK, yeah, that's like you said in the Canes series, that probably won on the series is how good their PK was. And so yeah, it's the same thing. We at the end of the day, it's being in the right spots, kind of understanding it. But then this time of year, especially, you might have to eat a puck. You got to make sure you get in front of it. You saw that in the Carolina series, guys diving all over the place. So yeah, I mean, look, they're a good team. They're going to make plays. That's the way it is. But at that point, sometimes you have to fly on the ice and maybe eat one and save a goal. So I know we got a bunch of guys in our room, or all the guys in our room that are willing to do that. So should be a good series.
Yeah, and you guys got the veterans. Texas has a lot of veterans as well. They have a couple, Cam Hughes and Cole Lynn, that were big parts of Coachella Valley, making it to the Calder Cup finals there a couple times. So they got the experience on their back, and yeah, you guys got a couple vets. You got a big lineup with a lot of young talent there too. So is it? I mean, you kind of. I don't want to say you guys kind of get. It's hard to kind of contextualize it, but they've got a lot of guys that have done it and been there before. So how do you kind of battled with them with that big game experience that they've brought at this stage?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really know. I mean, yeah, like you said, they have some guys that have been through it, maybe more than we do, but yeah, again, maybe will it make a difference? I don't know. I can't tell you for sure, but to me, it's about every year, every playoff series, it's different. So you kind of forget about the past. Like we learned from last year. We have a lot of guys returning. I know it was a play-in series, but we learned from that. We've I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, that sat with me for a lot of the summer. How we came out in that last game of the series last year. So I know a lot of guys weren't happy with the way we ended the season last year. So that gives us a little more fire under us. And to me, I don't know. I don't think maybe the experience is as crucial as maybe just playing as hard as you can. And if you do that, I like our chances. And you can kind of live with the results if you're giving everything you got. And go from there.
And then kind of like, I've been covering this team for about 6 years now. A lot of big studs that have come and gone through this organization. I think this is one of the deeper squads I've seen in Chicago, maybe outside of that 22 Calder Cup team. It's high ceiling there, so it is what it is. But what from what you see in that locker room and from ice level, what do you see as the team's biggest strength leading to a potential long run here in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things. I think the first off is we got, like you said, we have pretty good depth here. I really believe that we got four lines that can play. Um, Obviously, we got our top line there with Zooks, Robes, and Ads. I don't know if there's a better offensive line in the AHL, to be honest with you. So that's a pretty good starting point, I think, when you have that, and then you can follow it up with three more lines that throughout the year have been able to play shut down hockey, but also been able to put pucks in the net when other teams are really keying on the top line there. And then the other thing, you talked about the back end. We got obviously great players there, and that's been a big strength of ours all year. And then you go back to our goaltending. I mean, Preem's been the best goalie in the AHL. Like, he's a stud. Yeah. He's so I feel like we got the recipe. We got the right mix here. Now it's just about executing on our game plan and being a little more desperate than the next team, and that's what it comes down to. So I mean, again, I'm excited because I like you said, I think we got a pretty good group in there that can go on a run.
Well, it's fun because when I was talking to Spiros, we were kind of running through the lineup, and a couple of things that came up. I was talking about reinforcements at that point, and you guys had some really good ones that came in, and one of them was Noah Phil. And he's been on a tear lately. And all of a sudden now you've got, with your big line, of course, which is, I mean, we talked about them terrorizing the league when they were, on fire. Right. And then you bring out the second line and you've got Philp and of course, Felix Ungersorm. And those two guys have been tremendous with different wingers, Neuchev or Bierling or whatever. But the other thing I said, which was kind of fun, there was your line, of course. And you had, I think at that time you had Noel Gunler on the wing, and we really like Noel. He's great. And then the funny thing I said to Spiros was, I said, now you've got Nikita Pavlichev and you've got Evan Bierling on the fourth line. I don't know a team that's got second liners on their fourth line, right? So
yeah, no, exactly. That's what that kind of goes to show you that we got we're deep and every and the 1-2-4 line, like obviously we I don't think we really number it like that so much, sure. But
sure.
Yeah, I mean it just goes to show you how much depth we have, and then we've added guys too, and Philper's been great. Like you said, he's getting hot at the right time, and that's great for us. And so I mean I really like what we got going.
Well, there's another funny part that on the Canes broadcast, I kind of penned this Bash Brothers, which was William Carrier and Nicolas Delorier. And I said, if anybody starts getting cranky out there, we'll get the Bash Brothers in and we'll shake it up. And there you go. And Andrew said, well, wait a minute. I think we could talk about that with the Wolves, right, Andrew?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Yanni Turcotte has been probably one of my favorite Wolves over the last couple of seasons, and I've been familiar with Giovanni Smith in the Central Division for about the last 5 years now. So I don't know about you. Those are two customers I would not want to see on the ice at all.
Yeah, no, those guys are different level tough. That's for sure. They you don't want to. You see it in games when Turks is forechecking and the D-man is like, yeah, I'm all good. And to be honest with you, I don't blame him. I mean, it's like the guy's coming down full barrel and he's hunting for blood. So, but that's his game, and that's what makes him effective. Is he's puts a little bit of fear in you, and then he doesn't just do it for show. I mean, he will do it. He'll back it up. So, him and G are both tough as they get, and they got no fear out there. And obviously Turk's got an injury. I don't know how long he'll be out, but
right.
Hopefully we can get him back for a long playoff run. He'll be in the mix. But G's same thing. Like guys, they don't want to go to corner with him, and that just goes to show the depth we got, because we can put him in, and he's gonna do his job and cause a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, that's fun. And when Nicolas Delorier first came to the Canes, one of his games against Philadelphia, I think it was, he had 11 hits.
Yeah.
And the most in the league this year was 12 by Melanson with the Seattle Kraken. But I kind of joked about that, and I said, That's more than the whole team some nights.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's even that last game 4 there where he's in. I don't know how many minutes he played, but he had the one shift where he knocked over 4 guys. Like it was unbelievable. I'm like, he's getting his money's worth. That's for sure. So yeah, he knows his role and he does it well. That's why he's lasted so long.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And talking about reinforcements, I just wanted to ask you this question too, Skyler. Charlie Serrato has joined the team. He was injured, of course, for part of the season with Penn State. And you got Ivan Ryabkin back after he terrorized the Quebec Major League. Oh, my God. That was just amazing with Charlottetown. How are they doing? Folks are wondering what's up with these guys.
Yeah, they've both been great. Obviously, Ivan, we know him pretty well. Obviously, he started the year with us, so got to know him well. And then, like he said, he went to Charlestown and made that league look pretty easy. So, but yeah, no, he's great. He's obviously super talented. He's going to be, a really, really good player. Still young, just turned 19 yesterday. So, but yeah, like he's another guy like for playoffs. You add him in. He's feisty. He'll get in there, no doubt about it. And he's got a lot of skill, so he can make plays, and that's that has that game changing kind of ability where playoffs get tight. He's able to maybe find something out of nothing there, and so he's going to be a big help. And then Charlie's been great. Obviously, I haven't seen him play. He's just practiced with us, but you can tell he's got all the tools that you need. He's a good skater, strong. Yeah, I'm excited to see him. He's going to be, another one that's going to be really, really good, and is going to help us in our playoff run for sure.
So as we kind of round it out here, there's one thing I've always wanted to ask you about, because at this level you don't often see someone with such a connection in their own organization like you do with your dad. And I just kind of want to know how that dynamic, how you guys work on that. Do you separate the professional dad from the dad, or you're at Thanksgiving dinner and you're talking about how to run the power play?
Yeah, no, we separated pretty good. Obviously he's been great with growing up and everything and being super supportive, and he's always done a good job of letting me kind of initiate conversations as far as about my game or things like that. He tries not to butt in too much. Obviously there's times where things didn't go well. He'll make sure he lets me know like what's going on, what are you doing there. But for the most part it's he lets me kind of I'll call him and ask him if I feel little areas that I need to look at, and he's got he'll obviously help me out and do that, but he tries to stay away from it as much as he can. I mean, he has a hard time sometimes with staying away as far as see something in my game. He doesn't want to he wants to make sure he lets me know, but he does a good job. And then yeah, I mean, obviously when you go up it's it's a little bit weird, but once you start playing, I mean, it's hockey. You don't really think about it. I know well, I mean, I can't speak for him, but I don't think he really thinks much of it once you start playing, because it's he's got a job to do, and so do I. So but yeah, I mean, obviously it's a bit weird, and maybe a little bit more weird at the start, but now it's kind of I kind of don't even really think about it. So
well, it's good to know the dynamic doesn't change much from youth hockey to the NHL. Everyone's got their hockey dads, and some of them can be a little overbearing at times, but I love them.
That's right. That's right.
Well, some of us have been hockey dads, and yeah, we definitely were in the mix for sure. But great fun, and it's great to see your kids playing and having success, and I've certainly enjoyed that too. Okay, so I thought we'd have some closing remarks. Maybe Andrew, you could kick it off.
Yeah, just kind of, I mean, you kind of answered it a bit with just watching the game yesterday, but it kind of feels like you're already getting the energy going. You guys are chomping at the bit already to get at Texas. Kind of what's the vibe with the boys after practice?
Yeah, exactly right. We're ready to go. Obviously, to be honest with you, I didn't even want the week off. We wanted to get going, but we used that to our advantage. So we got some rest in and some preparation. But yeah, we're fired up. I'm fired up to get there. I mean, this is, the best time of the year. I mean, this is obviously, regular season, you got to get yourself in a position to have a chance, and it's a grind. There's no doubt about it, but it's, and I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but like, this is where, the real fun starts, is when you can get the playoffs here. And, I'm fired up. The boys are fired up, and yeah, just can't wait to get it going here.
Well, for sure. And hey, Skyler, thanks for spending time with us. Gosh, this has been fun, and we've learned a lot, and certainly understand your situation with the Wolves, how it's gone, and some of your history, and of course all the excitement that's headed for you coming up.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys having me on. So it's been good, and like I said, I saw Spiro's on here, and I'll have to check out the show a little bit more. It's good.
Thanks. Yeah, we appreciate it. And, with Andrew here too, of course, we get into some spirited conversations, and we have a lot of fun talking about the Wolves, for sure. So yeah, it'd be great if you could check out some, and tell some of your teammates, hey, watch some of that stuff, because they're talking about you too, probably. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's all good stuff. But thanks again so much, Skyler. And for those of you who've been watching or listening, of course, we're delighted you spent time with us. If you like this episode, please press the like button. If you have questions or comments for Andrew or for Skyler, please put those in the comment section. And of course, if you want to be alerted of future episodes of Storm Tracker, please press the subscribe and the bell buttons, and you'll be made aware just as soon as they're available. As always, we thank you so much for spending time with us, and look forward to getting together with you real soon, right here on Storm Tracker.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends for everything with the Canes. You need Storm Tracker.